Alright, good morning. Welcome back to Talking While Driving. It's been a while, right? Today's topic is TDS. TDS, a very serious subject. It's so crazy. The media created this. It's unfortunate. There's people that still get triggered over Trump, and they still are emotionally attached to their programming, the lies that were pumped into their minds and are still being pumped into their brains by the sources that they listen to and watch. And it's a problem. And by the way, this is not me saying that I think that guy's perfect or anything. I like his job performance, and I like him anyhow. I think he's freaking hysterical. The guy's a comedian. The big problem the media always made was taking him literally, but not taking him seriously. That was always the thing. And they don't like when he points all these things out, all the mistakes that they make and how bad they are at, running things. Anyhow, this is going to get me into what we got to talk about, because I mentioned on my Sunday night chat, I said, hey, there's going to be this woman probably you guys might meet, because I was pretty excited about it, but it ain't going to happen now. At least I don't think so. Come on. So I was talking to her on the phone yesterday, and by the way, I don't bring this subject up. I don't bring up Donald Trump in conversation. It's very rare that that comes up. People that suffer from TDS, they're the ones that will bring it up, which is interesting. Or if you're having a conversation and the subject comes up and you happen to mention it and you say anything that could possibly be seen as being positive to those people, it blows a freaking gasket in their minds. They can't handle it. They can't accept anything positive about him. That'll tell you right away that somebody has a mental disorder. Like something's not right there, because you can find something positive about some of the most evil people that ever lived on the planet. Not that you want to, but you can. All right. But anyhow, I'm talking to this woman, and she said she just brought it up out of the blue, Trump something or other. There was some stupid negative comment. And I thought, wait, what are you saying, And basically I alluded to the fact that I'm okay with him, and then she just went off on it. And this is one of the things that these people will do. They're going to recite in rapid fire succession one thing after another on a bunch of different topics. Well, he did this and this. What do you think about that? And this and that. And you can't answer any one of them because they're jumping right away to the next one. And it's a real fucking problem for me in a conversation with somebody. And these people all think that they're freaking brilliant too, which is another problem. And so I said to her, well, wait a second. And I'm trying to rebut some of these points, and she's cutting me off because she's emotional. And I pointed out to her, I said, look, you can't, this is the problem with trying to talk about it. You're jumping from one point to the next and not giving me oh, by the way, the main thing that they do is they jump from one point to the next. Boom, boom, boom. You can't defend it, any of it. And then they say, I don't want to talk about it. They just attacked him and you, basically, what you like. And then they don't give you a chance to respond. And they just talk over you. And they're emotional. And this is their tactic. This is the tactic of the left. Yell, 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 talk over you, be the last word, be the one that's heard over the other person that actually makes sense, which doesn't actually mean that you've won an argument. It makes you think that you did, but you didn't. And anybody else watching that gets it. However, there's enough people with TDS that will side with this nonsense. We have gridlock here because there's a street light. And stupid people, first thing in the morning, they'll block the intersection and the light changes, and now we're all stuck sitting here because of stupid people who also probably have TDS. So This is highly frustrating, but I can't do anything about it, so I might as well just keep talking. So, as I was saying, I don't want to talk about it anymore, she says. And I said, well, wait a second. You can't do that. You can't say a bunch of stuff that I know isn't true. I can rebut all these points and then say you don't want to talk about it anymore. That's how is that? Like, that's not a give and take. That's not a conversation. That's you just getting your way. And then I started trying to make these points. And the problem with these people is they can't accept the fact that you say anything that makes sense, that goes against their programming. They're emotional children. And that's a real problem. And my problem with that, if it's somebody that I'm interested in, I'm instantly not interested in them anymore, because they're demonstrating that they're not sophisticated. You know, they're not, their brain isn't, you should be able to accept things that you don't agree with, and accept other people's, you can hear the horns, people blowing their horns, because they're all pissed off. I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. So anyhow, this is how the conversation was going with it, and I would make a point, and she would try to, she wouldn't even talk to the point I was making. She would just bring up another thing that she thinks, it's the straw man argument. You know, bring up something that you can easily defend. Ignore the point or the subject or the topic that the other person's talking about. Just interject another one that you think you can win on. That's another tactical problem for me, because it shows that they're not the type of person who's willing to engage with something that they could be wrong about. You have to be careful about being around people that want to be right about everything. Women do that all the time. It's this superiority thing. I have this issue with some of my girlfriends. These are women I'm friends with, not necessarily women I'm screwing. I'm not screwing anybody right now. I'm just saying, you know, even this lady I've been working with, she's great. We're very good friends, but she does have this thing where she's got to be right, and it's a problem for me. You know, if I've accepted you already, and you know, I can let these personality things slide. That's what you do when you're friends with people. You accept them for who they are. You know, another problem with people with TDS, they can't do that. Like, I don't have a huge problem with her, but I'm not interested in her any longer. So there's no point in me trying. I haven't established like a super great friendship. Our thing was mostly a physical thing. At least, you know, we got to know each other. She's very cool. She's interesting. And I'm highly attracted to her. This is a thing. This is the problem for me. This happens here all the time in LA. It's not like every woman I run into does it for me. I'm particular about what I like. I couldn't even give you like a specific list. And if I did, I get attacked for it, because people are saying you're too shallow, you know, because you're looking at all these physical attributes. It's more about what's inside the person, obviously, but the fact of the matter is we're all attracted to physical attributes. That's just how it is. You know, so, I mean, if you saw some person walking down the street, that you met them, and they're highly overweight and have warts on their face, and, you know, they're very troll-like and everything else, but they have this beautiful personality, are you still going to be attracted enough to want to have sex with that person? Let's just be honest about it, right? And it's funny, I went to do my hearing test last week, and this woman happens to live near there, so we hooked it up, and she has this project. This is the main reason why she reached out to me. She has this idea for this table thing that attaches to like an umbrella, and I said to her, I said, it's not that unique, it's cool, I don't want to be involved in it, because I've got my own stuff to do. And then she actually found versions of it made in plastic that you can buy, but she still attaches idea. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's, I support anybody who has a passion for an idea and they want to try to see it through and make something of it. The thing is like, I can't help you with that because I'm too busy with my own stuff. That was our initial getting back together thing. And it was funny, I went over there, and you guys know my moo-moo story, right? Like, a few years ago, there was this woman that I was like, I knew her for a long time beforehand. Intellectually, we do get along. She doesn't suffer from TDS. She's more of a supporter of the guy, so that helps. But that's not what our thing was, necessarily. And we got it on, and it was okay. And then I went over there for the second time we were going to get it on, and she, you know, she's just wearing a muumuu. She wasn't even trying, and she was kind of overweight, which was a thing. She used to be, when I met her, real fit, because she was a competitive dancer and all that. But she let herself go a little bit, and she's been making, in my opinion, excuses of why. Because she's got this issue with her foot or whatever, and it's been healed, but you know, I know what it is. It's just the laziness. I'm suffering from all these issues. I'm still trying to stay fit. You know what I'm saying? You can stay fit. I'm seeing the dumbest things. I can't turn the camera around, but there's going to be an accident. Oh, almost. Oh, that was close. Sorry. Stupid people. So, I made that whole goof on the moo-moo thing, and I'm not attracted to it. But here I am, I go to this other woman's house, who happens to be this woman I'm talking about with the TDS thing, and she is actually wearing a muumuu. She's not wearing anything under, she's hugging on me, touching me, everything else, and I'm just attracted to her. So the muumuu on that woman works for me, the muumuu on the other woman didn't work for me. So I'm just saying, I'm not 100% anti-muumuu. Just to set the record straight for all the women that went out and burnt their muumuus after the first friggin' story. Anyhow, we're having this conversation on the phone. I'm trying to make some valid points. She brings up this whole thing like, oh, he was kissing Putin's ass and Kim Jong-un's ass and all this other stuff. So I made the point to her. I said, well, yeah, that's the smart thing to do. And she's flipping out like, what are you saying? Like, well, think about it. You know, you're the president. You've got to deal with these bad actors that have weapons of mass destruction, missiles, everything else. They're threatening. They're saying all these things. So you're going to go and insult them? That's stupid. Trump wrote The Art of the Deal, man. He understands psychology. He's going to give these people some props, talk about the positive attributes of their personalities or whatever, get them on his side so that they think he respects them, so that then he can then negotiate with them and point out to them it would be very, very bad if they do anything he doesn't like. That's how he kept Russia in check. That's how he kept North Korea in check. That's how he kept China in check. He had the president of China eating frickin' pudding at his house while he dropped bombs on other people, took the call, told the guy what just happened. That's the kind of president that I want. All right? I pointed out to her, and she doesn't believe me. That's the thing about these people with TDS. You tell them the truth about positive things that Trump did, they don't believe you. Well, you got to show me that. How about you go look for it, you lazy piece of shit? It's because you already don't believe anything I say, but then you're asking me to show you the proof of what I'm saying. Why do I think that you're going to accept anything I send you if you already don't believe anything I'm saying? That's logically, it doesn't make sense. This is the problem with women in general and beta males and people that suffer from TDS. They're the types of human beings that allow their emotions to override logic. This is the problem. This has always been the problem between men and women. Not all women. Generalizing here, people. Take it easy. Slow down. Let's slow it down for a second so you can take a breath and fucking relax. People. So, what the hell was I saying? I was making another point to her about, the UN. And I said, look, I watched it where, he had this meeting with the UN and he was specifically talking to Germany at this moment in time. They're all goofing on him, giving him a bunch of crap, and then he shuts down the conversation just by saying this statement, which was, wait a second, you want us to give you more money and pump more money into things here in Germany, to defend you against Russia. Meanwhile, You've got a pipeline going from Germany to Russia for your energy. That doesn't make any sense. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, all of a sudden, now they're backing up and they're changing what they were trying to make him go with, right? They're trying to force him through peer pressure to go along, which they've done to every other fucking president since NATO's been, since NATO was created. And Trump says, well, look, you're supposed to be paying 2% of your GDP, which you're not doing. You owe us a lot of money. And he's saying this to all the European countries. And he says the U.S. is paying 4% GDP of a much larger economy to keep NATO going and to support all you people. You know, you people don't have to have militaries because you got us. You can pump all your money into your society and create all these socialist programs because you don't need a military because you got the United States. He's like, he's just fucking laying this shit out. And he got them to pay up all their debt and guaranteed that they pay their 2% national GDP. And I watched that transpire in real time, live when it happened. I also reposted this on my Facebook page like maybe a month ago because it popped up somewhere else. I think I found it on YouTube. I wasn't looking for it, it just popped up. And I'm saying this to her, and she goes, well, you got to send that to me. This is the problem. I did that. I have 3 episodes on the one that got away, and one of them was the one that got away. I blame NPR because she was listening to NPR all day, every day. So I started listening to it. So at the end of the day, every day, I had to deprogram her from the bullshit that she listened to all stinking day. It's tiring. I don't have the time for this shit. So there needs to be like an intervention system created or something for your loved ones, your friends, the people you care about, to get them to understand that they're fucking wrong. They're just wrong. And one of them is, and I said this to her, and I recommend that you do this. And I haven't done this in a while, so I hope you can still find it. But if you go on YouTube and you look up the interviews with David Letterman and Trump, and you watch them in chronological order, I challenge you to not like the guy after watching those. You could do it in an afternoon. They're video clips, you know, from the show. You're not watching the whole show. You're just watching the parts where he's talking to Trump. So each one's like 5 minutes to 15 or 20 minutes maybe, max. I don't think any of them are 20 minutes. I don't know. But if you watch them all in chronological order of how Letterman first went to the Trump Tower, this is probably like 1980 or something, and just knocked on his door, and Trump had him come in, and you see how Trump's working. You see his office with just stacks of shit everywhere. He's on the phone the whole time while he's doing an interview, which was totally, he didn't know it was coming. And then how he had him on, and Letterman, as I said, didn't like him, so he goofed on Trump every time. And then Trump would listen. He had a good sense of humor about it, and then he would explain in layman's terms so that, you know, mentally stunted, emotionally driven intellects can understand logic. That's what you got to do to these people. And he would do that, and then you watch that and you go, oh, well, yeah, I understand his point of view now. I see his side from how he has to deal with things. This is the thing. So do that. You know, so this is a suggestion for those of you that suffer from TDS. Look up the Letterman interviews with Trump. Watch them in chronological order. It's really good stuff. Because you understand all the criticisms that people bring up about him from his past. You see it in real time at the time while those things were happening. That's the beauty of it. This is not hindsight looking back and giving you a bunch of revisionist history nonsense. You get to see it in the context of when it was happening, which was another thing she was bringing up, which is all these TDS people do, is they repeat these talking points of, you know, particular phrases that Trump said that are taken out of context, like the thing, what was that, in Charlotte, where he said that there were some good people. That's been 100% debunked now. We know exactly what he was actually talking about, and he wasn't talking about the Nazis. But they still believe it. They still believe it. And stupid people, and they're not even, I don't know how stupid they are. They're purposefully still lying. The lies are still out there. So you have to go and do your research. So my suggestion to you, if you're watching this because you suffer from TDS and you were so curious, because that's the problem too. TDS people are, what's the word? Addicted to drama and argumentation. And you know, they're just, that's their thing. These are the people that listen to this drivel all day long, and the cable news and this divisive thing, and they got to be part of a tribe, not the Astrovan tribe, by the way. They got to be they have this tribal mentality thing, and they've got to be on that side, and whatever it takes, rah for your team. I'm not on any side. I'm not on any side. I like Trump. That doesn't mean I'm super pro-Republican. He's not even a Republican. He's just a dude that wants to do the right thing. She actually said he's bad for America. It's not Trump that's bad for America. It's the media that's bad for America. It's the people that are filling your head with a bunch of bullshit that's bad for America. It's certain people in the government. It's mainly non-elected bureaucratic assholes, you know, that are making all this shit happen. And these are people that are all interwoven. People from government get into lobbying. People from government get into the pharmaceutical industry. People from government get attached to the military industrial complex companies. You understand where I'm going here. There's literally people in government in bed with people in the media. They're married to them, or they're related to them. They're definitely fucking them. There's shit going on here. And these people are creating this little world for themselves. And they're a small, finite amount of the people. And when you say half the country supports Trump and the other half, it's not half the country. It's way more than that. Way more. The majority of the country is more conservative-based and more logical, believe it or not. You know, it's 20 to 30% of the country, at most, are the hardcore left, believe in this nonsense. Unfortunately, they got power. And emotional people are driven more emotionally, that are more artistic and caring and all these things that lack the logic, happen to be the types of people that gravitate towards, well, they need affirmation. They need to be on television and all those things. They need that. That's the mindset of these people. And they've got the bully pulpit, man. They're the ones on TV, right? They're the actors. They're the singers. They're the artists. So they hear something, they get emotional over it, and then they're controlled. That's how programming works. You watch a show, they show you pictures that disturb you, and then they narrate over that to put a narrative in your mind, which might not have anything to do with the pictures you're actually looking at. It's called programming. This is what they do. They say all this stuff, this horrible, stupid shit. You believe it because you're emotional. You're no longer using logic. As soon as the emotions take over, logic goes out the window. So that's what makes it hard. You know, for you to have a real conversation with somebody who suffers from TDS, you got to sit them down, maybe have a computer out, have the conversation. Let them say something stupid, and then go, oh, stop right there. Don't talk about anything else. Let's focus on that point. Boom, find the truth. You might find some of what they said is true, and you go, oh, yeah, I see that, but here's this. Do you understand the nuance here and why he's not really wrong there? But yes, of course, he said something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this thing that they have in their mind where the person's got to be perfect. Who's been perfect? And by the way, I kept trying to interject the Biden thing. Like, what are you saying? You don't like him, but look at this. I didn't even get to the point that they're making now with this Kamala person who's coming out saying she's going to make everything better when she's in power right now, not making everything better. And actually for the last 4 years, been making everything worse. Build Back Better was their slogan when they came in. Now they're telling you that they're going to fix all the things that aren't working. Well, how come you weren't able to do that in the last 4 years? And people believe this nonsense. So I no longer want to get it on with this chick now. I'm totally turned off 100%. And it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. Because it was a good time there. Anyhow, that's it. So, quick one for you today. I'm at the shop. I got to organize the shop this morning, and I got to start on Phil's box for his back door. So I'll show you guys some of that. There's going to be a little survival type video coming up. And, oh, I did go to the VA yesterday. This is just an interview about my ankle issue. That's how I got out. And they had to see the scar from the surgery. And the guy I talked to was awesome from Brooklyn. In his 60s, retired. He did 10 years as a Navy corpsman. Turns out he was I should do a separate video on this. Sorry, I'm just tagging on the end of this video here. You know what? Let's just do that. I'll do that in another video because it's really cool, some cool information. I'll let this go for now. I'll talk to you guys later, and have a great day. Be kind to one another. Treat the TDS people gently, but don't let them get away with their bullshit. You know, listen to what they say. Stop them. Say, now, well, listen, I have something to say about that. Will you allow me to voice my opinion? Will you allow me to show you something that'll kind of debunk what you just said? Because if they're a rational person, they'll let you do that, or at least attempt to. Because you can change people's minds with the truth. But it's up to us. We're the ones that have to tolerate them. We're the ones that have to have the patience. And I guess it's got to come out of love or something. So, you know, I'm saying it's over with that. And I'm saying, you know, by the way, nobody caught, what was I doing? I was driving home from the client's house talking about the job, and nobody caught my hypocrisy. I can't believe nobody made fun of me. Because I said, slow down, man. Take it easy. Slow life down. Plan stuff out. Have some patience. As I said, I was doing 85 miles an hour on the highway. And not one person gave me grief about that. Like, I'm giving you gems here. I'm giving you plenty of opportunities to screw with me because I can be somewhat hypocritical within one sentence. And you're not catching it, some of you. Come on. Let's smarten up a little bit. I'm an easy target myself. All right, I'm out. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. I'll catch you in the next one.